Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining our Clean Silver launch today. It is a much anticipated launch from Mela, as you all know. I think we've been talking about it from Hunter Grace Towers for some time now, as it is Mela's first foray into beauty. We have all been working with Mela for about a year now, and we all love it. And I think that as a brand, it is very much leading the charge in sleep wellness, as we all know, and the famous weighted blanket is fast becoming a cult product for everyone's beds and sofas. And it really is a game changer brand for sleep and the home. So today, to dive into the discussion on the Clean Silver range, I am delighted to welcome a trio of really amazing women for the panel. We've got Dr. Alia Ahmed, who's a specialist in psych-dermatology, which is the fascinating interplay between the mind and skin. We've got Rhian Stephenson, who many of you will know already, the founder of ARTA, a nutritionist, functional medicine doctor, and hormone specialist. And then we have Kadeeja Sel Khan, a model and activist, someone who really has selflessly brought the realities of acne into light. Welcome to you all, and thank you so much for being part of this launch for us today. I would also like to introduce you now, as many of you have all seen, the wonderful Georgie Jones, who's brand director at Mela, who I work very closely with. And Georgie's going to be comparing the talk today, and she is very much at the heart of the Mela brand. I think we're going to run the talk and the panel and the discussion for around 45 minutes. If there are questions, please do pop them into the Q&A chat, and we will cover them all off at the end. And if we run over, I know that we have Alia and Rhian and Kadeeja available for Q&As after this launch. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Georgie, who's going to play you a quick video about Clean Silver, and then we can crack on with the talk. So thank you all so much for joining, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you're as passionate as we are around this subject now. I think we've all learned so much about bacteria and skincare. And I'll hand over. Thank you, Georgie.
Thanks so much, Olivia. And now's the technical bit where I start sharing my screen and something goes wrong. I'm just going to play you a quick introduction video before we crack on. Bear with me.
Scary fact. More bacteria live on your bedding and towels than on a toilet seat, and you put your face on them every day and night. Dirty pillowcases lead to clogged pores, which may cause breakouts. Fun for no one. Meet the skincare game changer, self-cleaning antimicrobial bedding and towels that defend your skin from breakouts. Our secret ingredient is silver. Positively charged silver ions attack negatively charged bacteria, working to cancel bacteria out. We permanently weave silver yarn into our premium bedding and towels so they stay clean and odorless. Be confident you're putting clean fabric on your skin, day and night. Whether you're cleansing, washing, drying, sleeping, or waking, Mela's Clean Silver collection, a fresher start for your skin.
Thank you so much for your time here today. I'm Georgie, as Olivia mentioned. I'm on the Mela team, and we brought you here together not only to celebrate the launch of our wonderful Clean Silver collection, but also at Mela, we're a brand that's really passionate about physical and mental well-being. So I'm so excited to be joined by our wonderful panelists today to have a really interesting discussion around all things skin health and skin positivity. But before we crack on with the panel, I just thought it'd be good to give everyone who might not know a bit of an overview of the Mela brand. Mela's been in existence, I guess, for around 3 years now. And we have been designing beautiful home essentials with one major difference. That difference is all of our products work actively to provide functional health benefits, which help customers optimize their day-to-day well-being routines. As many of you may know, it started with our award-winning weighted blanket, which is a sleep aid that brings on a swifter, deeper sleep and helps reduce anxiety. But now we're excited to finally launch our first foray into skincare and beauty. I think it's interesting when we think of skincare, we often think of bottled products, and quite rightly so. The average skincare consumer spends around £50 a month on them. But what's often neglected is what comes after that skincare routine. When you go to dry your face or when your face hits the pillow. I unfortunately used to be in the 30% of people that went to dry their face on the hand towel that was just in my bathroom. So I was freshly cleansed, shiny skin, and then didn't realize or consider the amount of unseen bacteria that was on that musty hand towel of mine. So I was kind of transferring that back to my face. Research tells us that we should be washing standard pillowcases and towels every 3 days. I certainly don't have the life admin to do that. And it's not exactly the best move for the environment either. So with all of that in mind, the Clean Silver collection was born, and we're really excited to talk you through the science, how they work, but in short, they're antibacterial towels and bedding, and they work to optimize your complexion as you cleanse and sleep and dry. So as the skin kind of naturally regenerates, the Clean Silver thread, which is powered by our tech partner, Ionic Plus, naturally fights bacteria and microbes that accumulate on the fabric and may lead to kind of breakouts. But yeah, plus because these products are self-cleaning, they don't need to be washed as frequently, and customers can do their small bit at kind of conserving energy and water by reducing their laundry days. But I'm going to stop talking and open up the panel discussions now. Alia, before we dig a little deeper into the science of silver itself, can you talk us through the impact that certain bacteria can physically have on the skin?
Thank you, and welcome to everyone who's listening to us now. So yes, definitely we all are exposed to bacteria, and I think we're even more aware of this now compared to previously. We're just hopefully coming out of a pandemic, or we're still in the throes of a pandemic, and people have become much more aware of what bacteria is on their skin, on their own bodies, and on the things that are around them, be that your pillowcase, be that your towel, or the surfaces that you come into contact with. And what we know is that we all do have, like, to have bacteria on your skin is normal. So everybody has a microbiome, and everybody has a microbial family living on their skin and probably on all the surfaces around you, and that's normal. Where it starts to become a problem is where sometimes inflammation can be aggravated by these situations or these conditions, and then it can cause, or it can aggravate a problem that you may already have. And we know that certain mites, for example, that can live in bed linen, as a good example, can give you certain types of acne. Also, what we know is that things that are on your hair, so like products or makeup residues from your skin, this can all build up on surfaces that you come into contact with frequently, and again aggravate some of these processes. And this can be quite worrying for people. And I'm hearing more and more people asking, in addition to questions about skincare that is usually bottled, what else can they do? So how often should I be washing my pillowcase, or what material is best for me to have a face mask made out of? So all of these things are becoming much more important to people, and I think that's really positive because we're looking at the bigger picture.
Totally. And just echoing your point there around bacteria, and obviously bacteria will always exist, and even our antibacterial products, they're not going to eradicate bacteria on the fabric. It's just the silver kind of fights the bacteria. Rhian, I'd love to hear a bit more from you around the science of silver. It's been celebrated for its antimicrobial properties for centuries, but can you explain to everyone how it works and your perspective on its benefits?
Yeah, sure, thanks. So colloidal silver is a fantastic kind of natural antimicrobial, as you were already saying. You know, how it works is basically the silver cation can penetrate the wall of the bacteria, and that can either kill the bacteria then and there, or it can prevent it from replicating. So that's kind of the main mechanism of how it can fight bacteria. Right now, you know, it's still used in modern medicine in surgical implants and surgical tools. In terms of natural use, you know, I think it's fantastic for topical infections, and it really has kind of like 8 main uses, which are topical as an antibiotic for wound healing. It helps to prevent scarring. It helps to prevent infections. It's used for sinusitis. It's used for pink eye. It's used for inflammation. It's really fantastic for acne when the acne is kind of more on the pustule side, where it ruptures, and then you can risk getting more bacteria in and exacerbating the infection. So I think it's just a fantastic natural remedy to have on hand.
Totally. And it's interesting that the word preventative came up a lot there. And I think that's exactly the kind of, I guess, science that silver offers. It's preventative. It's not going to cure acne, but it can help create an environment where a skin can thrive a bit better. That kind of makes me think of the skincare category as a whole. And actually, I mean, we're surrounded by products that promise to control acne, but many of them are intrinsically quite harsh, not only in their ingredients, but in their descriptions. And I was wondering, Kadeeja, as a consumer, how do you navigate your skincare choices in a kind of overwhelming sea of information and promises?
Well, to be honest with you, I've been using loads of skincare products from a very young age. I think I even started using it from ages that I wasn't supposed to use it, because I just wanted my skin to be clear. So during that process, I did come across a lot of promising products that were like, yeah, it will cure your spots, your acne, and it even came to a point where the products that I was using at a very young age made my skin a lot worse. So with it promising, you just have to be very careful. And I do recommend reading up on ingredients. I mean, I'm no scientist, I'm not a dermatologist, but I know a lot about the products and ingredients that they do have in the acne skincare. And that just shows that I've been reading so much upon it, and that whenever I look at a product and I think, oh, I do want to try that out, I definitely have to read the ingredients. That's just a must have for me. And if it's something that doesn't really settle with me, then I guess I won't be using it.
Yeah, I think education is definitely something that's far more talked about when it comes to skincare ingredients. Alia, I'd love to hear your kind of expert opinion on the current skincare landscape as such.
Absolutely. And, I just want to very quickly extend my full support to Kadeeja for her stance on what she's doing for skin positivity and acne, because I've thought for a long time skin is not supposed to be perfect. And this is a concept that's been created, and it's really positive to see that, there are role models there for people who have acne in this example, who can really push them forward into accepting different forms of skincare. Now, yes, with regards to what's available, there's a lot of noise around skincare. And actually, what I find really positive is that people do research. So Kadeeja says she's not an expert, but actually you are your own skin's expert. No one's going to know your skin better than you. Yes, I can guide you, but you're the one who's going to tell me when I'm seeing patients or clients. That is what I'll say. You're going to guide me on what's your bad day and what's your good day. And I think what I would tell people, or what I would advise people to do, is to do their research and to look for the active. So look for rather than looking for the brand, or rather than looking for what's most expensive or whatever the price point is, look at what ingredients are in this particular product that you're thinking about and how that fits your regime. So just because your friend is using X active, it doesn't mean that that active is the right active for you, because everybody's skin is different. So I think doing research and coming up with your own ideas, and also remembering that skin is a bit of everything. So your skincare is not just what's in that bottle, it's also about what's in your environment, and it's also a lot about your mental health. It's a lot about the stress that you're experiencing, and keeping all of these things in mind when you're planning how to look after your skin and the rest of your body.
Totally. That actually brings me beautifully onto the next question I was going to ask you, and Rhian as well. I guess you're both advocates and specialists in your own way on how mind, body, skin, and everything is interlinked. But can you tell us a little bit more about the importance of having that holistic approach to skincare rather than just relying on bottled products, and what this might mean in your respective fields? Rhian, I'll start with you.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, As Dr. Ahmed said, I mean, your skincare is about so much more than just what you put on your face. The skin is affected by virtually everything, as we know. You know, our hormones, our level of stress, our nutrition, you know, is massive. The health of our microbiome, how well we sleep, you know, the environment we sleep in. So just looking for a cream or a serum to be the cure-all is probably going to let you down, because there are so many other things that will be contributing to your skin. For me, you know, my skincare is my food, it's my exercise, it's how I sleep, it's how I manage my mind. So I think it's about kind of going through all of those things and seeing where you are and all the small things that you can do, like looking to see if you think your hormones are off. You know, do you have PCOS? Are you on the pill? What's your diet like? You know, is it really high in sugar and alcohol and caffeine? Because all of these things are going to be factors that can make your skin worse. I mean, it's definitely about taking a holistic approach.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's great. And yourself, Alia, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely I echo all of that. And it's, again, very common when I see my patients or clients for me to, apart from talking about their skin, I will say, tell me about your diet, your sleep, your lifestyle, what's going on in your life, who's your support network, how much stress are you experiencing. So it's definitely, this whole field is expanding and understanding your skin and putting wellness in there. And just to, you know, for example, use the example of sleep, and Rhian mentioned sleep as well, about how important it is. You know, your blood flow into your skin, to and from your skin, changes when you're asleep. And what that means is, if you are looking at a miracle cream that says, you know, if you put this on at night, you'll wake up looking, I don't know, 10 years younger or whatever it is, the next day you'll wake up looking really refreshed. Actually, if you don't get the right amount of sleep, the product is not absorbed as well. So it doesn't do what you wanted it to do. So again, it's just another way of showing that actually it is a bit of everything. And you do need to consider those lifestyle choices, as well as choosing the right products and the right things to put in your environment in order to maintain your skin in the best possible condition that you want it to be in.
I think that's such a good point with sleep. I mean, if you're not sleeping, you also won't be able to heal from wounds as easily. You can't control your inflammation, you can't control your cortisol. So I mean, it's not just about one thing. Your sleep impacts everything.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe let's just dwell on that a little bit, because do you guys have any high level information on how our body does regenerate when we sleep, or what physically happens to the body? I'm conscious that this isn't a question we prepped. So.
No, it's fine.
Rhian, do you want to say something first?
Yeah,
You go ahead.
sure. So, I mean, getting into a deep sleep, there are a few things that need to happen first. So one, your body temperature has got to fall, so your melatonin can go up. When your melatonin goes up, you can get into the deep sleep, and then the growth hormone can go up. That's one of the biggest factors when it comes to regeneration, right? So that's when we regenerate our cells, our tissues, we heal. So if you're not ever getting into that sleep where your melatonin can go up, your cortisol can go down, you know, you're not spending energy on trying to digest the food you ate at 11 at night, right? Your body has natural healing mechanisms that are built in, and these happen when we sleep. So I think it's really important to understand, you know, how important it is to sleep, not only for your skin, but for your mental health, for your resilience to infection, wound healing, making sure that you're getting your cortisol down from all the exercise that you've done, right? So I mean, all the good things we do, they're made better if we sleep, right? And all the good things we do can be kind of counterintuitive if we just don't sleep.
Totally.
If that, I'm sorry, I didn't really
no
that one, but I hope.
Totally.
Yeah,
I mean,
small things as well. I mean, so many people say that their skin gets worse when they eat a lot of sugar, when we don't sleep. So studies have shown that if you don't sleep, you can lose kind of 40% of your insulin sensitivity that next day. So your blood sugar is totally out of whack, you're craving sweets for energy. Like, I mean, there's so many small ways that it can all add up and affect how you are and the quality of both your mental and your physical health.
Totally. That's so fascinating. I think one question, I guess, for both of you as well, like, are there any, thinking of holistic skincare, we'd add along about some kind of broad topics there, but are there any specific small steps or like skin hacks specifically that you could recommend that kind of impact body and mind? Alia,
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Definitely, yes. So one of the things that I say a lot is that your evening routine should basically start as soon as you get in, because what you want, or get in for the evening, because what you want is to start to wind your body down to achieve good sleep, because sleep has so many health benefits, like Rhian already mentioned, and it also can impact your skin, because overnight is when your skin is being repaired. So all the damage that you've incurred during the day, your body has a natural rhythm which will start to repair that overnight. So you want to protect that time. So simple things that I tell people to do is to, if you have multiple products, for example, so you come in, now we're all getting used to washing our hands as soon as we get in, for example. So get in, wash your hands, if you're wearing makeup, take it off. If you, at that point, I would recommend, whether you wear makeup or not, to clean your face, basically, because a lot of us are wearing masks. We're also out in a polluted environment. So get that step started. Then you can put on your first serum, whatever you use, if you use it. And then you can sort of keep adding to the products that you're using over the evening. So, okay, it's been another hour now I'll add something else. It promotes, good absorption. You're not layering 5 products together within 15 minutes, otherwise none of them are ever going to have a good effect. And then the way to wind down,
that's my skin like out the window.
I know. Exactly. I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm like dripping by the end.
And really use your skincare or yourself as a self-care. So when you're putting that serum on, or you're washing your face, you can say positive things to yourself. I'm literally taking off the dirt of the day, and like my evening is now my time. Or when you're putting a serum or a cream onto your face, really concentrate on how it feels on your hand, how it feels on your skin, what it smells like. Enjoy working it into your skin. They'll say apply 2 pumps and rub in for 5 minutes, whatever. Do that. And the thing is, what that does is, people will say to me, oh, but I don't want to meditate, it's not me, or I don't want to do this, I'm not good at mindfulness. But actually, this starts to get your brain to do that in a way that's suitable to you, and it starts to again wind you down. So I think we should use those little things that we're doing anyway, but just doing them in a more meaningful way that can start to prepare your body to sort of get ready for sleep. And other things that you can do to support, I hear a lot of, there's a lot of skin guilt. Oh, if I'd done this wouldn't have happened. Or if I wash my pillowcase every day, then maybe my skin will be better. Nobody can definitely give you the answers to those things. But if you feel more supported in your environment, so yes, I feel confident that my towel is clean, I feel confident that my pillowcase is clean, and hopefully that will reduce your stress associated with skin guilt, and you'll be able to achieve whatever it is that you want to do that evening. You want to have a good sleep, you want to have a nice relaxing time. So these are just the very, very simple things you can do. In bed, I normally suggest that people try breathing exercises just before they fall asleep, again, to push your body into a deeper sleep, and muscle relaxation. So progressively or sequentially tensing and then relaxing muscle groups, starting from your feet and working upwards, again, has shown to put your body into a state of relaxation to help you into sleep. And easy, you can do it in bed and no one needs to know what you're doing. It takes 5 minutes. Give it a try.
I'm definitely trying that tonight. I think it's so interesting around fitting wellness into your life, because often it's like, oh yeah, as you said, I need to meditate now, and it feels like it could be a chore, but actually it's those little moments that bring you a little bit of joy or a little bit of kind of self-care that, like for me, getting into fresh bed sheets is the best, and probably why I love the new Mela products so much. But that feeling when you've got clean pajamas on, clean sheets, and I love that so much. Not just knowing that it's clean, but the just feeling of it. It's amazing for me. I don't know if Kadeeja, do you have any specifically nighttime routines or self-care moments that you integrate into your like evening?
I think mine's the same really. When you get into your warm clothing, your home clothing, you take all your makeup off, and you use your favorite skincare. I think that's the best thing ever. I think I feel more comfortable when I wear no makeup because I just feel relaxed and free and I don't really care. So yeah, my evening is basically just being myself and just tying my hair up and just relaxing.
And Rhian, do you have any kind of habits and rituals you'd recommend incorporating into our evening specifically?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm a huge fan. I'm a convert of yin yoga. So even if it's just for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 2 poses, I've gotten into the habit when I put the baby down, I'm totally fried because I've been running around and she's just so intense that I just go and I lay down and I put my feet up. That helps your vagus nerve. It helps to get lymphatic drainage going. And it just, you can feel your whole body just going, so with me, you know, I'm a very physical person and I hold a lot of tension in my physical body. So, I mean, doing some sort of a yin or a restorative pose where I can just lay there for 5 minutes in pigeon with a candle, with no husband, with no phone, with no baby, and just be like, I need some quiet time. That really helps me. And then also just kind of smaller things. I'm a big fan of scents. So I love putting like a spray on my pillow or on my temples. It really, again, just kind of helps me to calm down. Those are probably my favorites for sure.
Nice. Yeah, I think it's all about those evening rituals. And I actually think that people are paying more attention to that post lockdown. And one positive of being in a pandemic is we've all figured out, or at least got better at figuring out what our evening rituals are, as a nation maybe. Last year, self-care was such a focus because we were working in our homes and living in our workplaces, and having that routine really helped everyone switch off, I think. I'd actually like to take the conversation back a little bit. We touched upon it briefly before, around kind of skin positivity and this move towards, I think within the industry, within society, as well, towards this non-idealized version of skin, which I think personally and as speaking on behalf of Mela as a brand, we are so for. And one thing I want to stress with these products is they are options to add to your routine should you wish to have that like slightly elevated experience with a towel, with a bed set, that is antibacterial, but they are not to kind of eradicate blemishes, acne, and we're not suggesting that that's the ideal skin either. It's just about aiding positive habits, I guess, and having that holistic approach to well-being. But as we move towards a more positive view of skin generally, is this something that we're seeing both on the industry side, Alia, in your kind of realm, day to day? Do you think that we are moving towards a world where skin doesn't need to be perfect, and clients are kind of being open about that? What do you think?
I mean, I think there are definitely some positive movements, and you know, anybody that thinks that skin can be perfect, probably in my own view, probably has a slightly disordered sense of reality, because we can't, you know, that it's an unachievable. It's really, what is really good is, yes, we're starting to see a little bit more in media, real skin, you know, so you'll see an advert and it will have somebody who may have some blemishes, or somebody who's got active acne, or somebody who's got a visible difference, maybe they've got vitiligo. So I think these are all positive things, that it shouldn't be this way, you know, that we have to start to normalize what is real, but fine, willing to accept that this is what's going to happen. And definitely, when you see patients or clients, everybody has a different expectation, but one of the things that I tend to work on is I will say, look, what is your expectation? You know, what do you want to happen with your skin? And then I'll tell you how much I'm going to be able to meet that. And then we have to find a happy medium in between. And for some people that works really well. And I think definitely the realization of that is increasing. So less and less am I hearing people coming and saying, well, I want to look 10 years younger. That, you know, there's only so much I can do, or I want to look like this. It's more about, well, what I'd actually like to do is I'd like to improve this. And I think, you know, if this could look a little bit like this, and if I could improve by 50%, I'd be quite happy. So I think people's view on their own skin and their acceptance of their own skin is also really improving. And that is what is going to drive the changes really going forward. We shouldn't be led by other people showing us the way, like we're finding the way, and like Kadeeja is showing people how to find their own way is really positive.
Totally. It's about personal decisions rather than this like strive for something
exactly
unachievable, and something that shouldn't even be kind of held in that position anyway. Kadeeja, I think, you know, as Ali has mentioned, you've been spearheading a lot of these conversations very bravely in the public eye. Does what Dr. Alia kind of said resonate with your experience? I'd love to hear more about how you've led this conversation.
Yeah, no, 100% of what Dr. Alia said, it's true. I think that now that everyone's talking about it, I think because so many people online are really down to say, you know what, I want to be myself, this is my skin, accept it, and if you don't accept it, it doesn't really matter to me because this is how I look like. Because there's so much of us that truly believe in it, it's actually helped people that don't really even talk about it, and that didn't know it affected them so much that they were chasing this perfection that doesn't even exist. So it's nice to see what Dr. Alia said, that people are actually commanding it less in her clinic, because that is where we were going. We all wanted to be a size 0. We all wanted to be, you know, super slim. We wanted the perfect skin, and we would always show a doctor or a surgeon, hey, I want to look like this. And it's like, oh my God, that's not even the reality of it. So on this end, it has changed so much. It's still got a lot of work to do, because there's some things you can see, you're like, oh my God, but it's come so far. And I think that it's going to just continue and help so many people out there, that one day we're going to just wake up and think, okay, if I don't look this certain way, I'm all right with it and I'm happy with myself, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, for sure. And kind of tying that back into that holistic approach, it's actually checking in on the inside. How am I feeling rather than how am I looking? And I think that is really key there. But yeah, I think we're coming to a good natural kind of ending point. So just to finish things off and connect some of the thoughts around both like holistic skin health and skin positivity and mental positivity. Do either of you have some final thoughts or hopes for the future when it comes to this topic? Alia, I'll start with you.
Thank you. So definitely, I'd love to see, you know, the skin positivity movement growing. So moving away from ideals, embracing reality, and embracing diversity, showing all types and colors of skin in forward-facing campaigns. And what I'd really like to do is to have patients or clients, when you have a skin concern, what I want people to ask themselves is, how is my skin making me feel? And based on that answer, seeking the right level of support, and seeking support from different areas, not just your dermatologist, but considering talking to a counselor, or for example, looking at someone who can help with your lifestyle, someone with a bit more of a holistic medicine approach. So keeping all those doors open is what I'd like to see.
Amazing. Rhian?
Mine's really more on the general sense, but I mean, I would really love to see just more positivity around health and the impact we can have with the habits that we create. You know, the food we eat, our exercise, our mindfulness. Really, it's about becoming more aware that health is our most important asset. And I think, you know, a lot of us have seen that this year, but then turning that into a positive, rather than thinking, oh, it's such a chore to fix my skin and to sleep more and to eat well, and actually to see all of these things as positive investments into your own energy and health, because when you do that, I mean, all the other things, they start to slowly slip away, and you'll start saying, oh, actually, I haven't been sick for a year, and oh, my skin is cleared up, and I can handle things better, and I'm less stressed, and I'm more positive. And just the more kind of small steps we can take to really acknowledging that health is a practice and it's positive, I think that will just go a long way across everything.
Totally. It's like the conversation we had a couple of days ago off camera, which reframing
Yeah,
the in your mind that might be seen as chores or tasks, but actually
totally.
are nourishing and good for you.
Yeah. So many people think of, you know, if they need to change how they eat to kind of help their skin, they see that as like, oh, it's so bad. And then they focus on it, and they think so much about what they can't have and they can't have it. And it's such a negative conversation, where actually I choose not to have this because it doesn't make me feel good, is so much more empowering than saying like, oh, well, someone told me I can't, but because it causes this. And actually, if you just reframe it, and then you focus on finding something else to eat that you love, which I'm 100% sure you can do, it would take so much anxiety and stress out of those kind of small things.
For sure. Thank you. And Kadeeja, how about you? Any future hopes and projections?
Yeah, I agree with Rhian. I think that, you know, exactly the same thing. Mental health, you know, accepting yourself, not only on the outside, but on the inside, like making sure you're mentally okay. Because a lot of the things that we see on social media, even if we don't want to acknowledge it subconsciously, we still think about it, and we're like, oh my God, you know, maybe I wished it. And you shouldn't, you really shouldn't. But just as long as you're okay, I think that's the main thing. And focusing on, you know, how you're feeling and how you think of yourself is better than thinking of how someone else thinks of you, or, you know, their views and their opinions. So my hopes is just putting yourself first before anyone else.
I love it. I'm the same. Yeah, I completely echo all of your thoughts. I think it's so important to just tap in internally before we start looking in the mirror and making decisions based on that. It's how we're feeling. And my final question, actually, just because I have to ask, as the 3 women in the UK who received the Mela products first, how are you finding them?
I'm obsessed.
I love it. I love it.
I'm obsessed.
Saying how much I love it.
Yeah, no, they're brilliant.
Yeah.
The blanket, I must say, it was a game changer. And yeah, the pillowcase is doing well.
Amazing. I'll check back in.
The blanket is like my favorite thing ever, and my husband gets like suffocated, so there's a line like down the center where I'm like wrapped in the weighted blanket like this, peacefully asleep, and he's like rolling around like trying to be free, and I'm like, well, all right.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm like, you can be free or you can fall asleep fast. I mean, it's your choice. But I also love the pillow. It feels great.
Yeah, I feel like I've got a bit of a Mela haven going on in my bedroom at the moment. It's just a little endless, but I love it. Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, guys. This has been great.
Thank you.
To everyone watching the recording, thank you for tuning in. I'm sorry it wasn't live, but hopefully this has been helpful enough. And any questions that you have following this video, please send them to our wonderful Hunter Grace team.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
I will stop recording now.
Oh.
Hold on.